Hello everyone, Good Rampant here, and I was going to make a joke about politics and say it's spooky for Halloween, but unfortunately I cannot work Windows Movie Maker because it is shit, and I do not yet have money to get Camtasia back. But what I do have is a story. And I thought I'd tell it on Halloween because I call it my Walmart horror story. Well, I have multiple Walmart horror stories, but this is when I worked there. This was actually while I worked at Walmart. And it's the reason I quit my job. I was never fired. I was never asked to leave. Nothing. I quit after 3 months, and here's why. You're gonna look at them like, you morons. Or, well, you evil people, more so. So, I got my first job at Walmart as a cart pusher, and it was pretty much all I had to go off of. I was originally going to be maintenance, so basically clean up, fix something, sweep up, whatever. It was a dirty job, but honestly, working on the toilets would have been better than cart pushing at Walmart. Right now, as I'm recording this video, I have a job cart pushing for a store up north in northeastern America called Wise. And right now I'm doing cart pushing. I was supposed to be going to cashier, but that's not important. And I've learned it's not the same. So at Walmart, they have some really shady ways of doing things. So what they'll do is they'll set a schedule. They'll say, okay, you can take your regular breaks here. You get 15 minutes for like each 8-hour shift. And then you get like an hour or 30-minute lunch here. So when I first started going there, I would take my break when it was scheduled. You know, they say, okay, you are allowed to take your break at this time. So I do. And the first time I tried doing that, one of the customer service managers, or CSM, came up to me and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing just sitting around here?" I said, "I'm on my break. This is the time when it said it was my break." And she immediately goes, "You're not allowed to take a break until we say you can take your break." Already kind of a red flag, but I kind of got used to it. I figure that might be how it is for everyone. Nope. The only position in the entire store, at least the one I worked at, that had to do that had to obtain explicit permission before you're even allowed to go on a break, is cart pushing. And because you need permission, if it's a busy day and they don't want to leave the carts unattended, they will refuse to let you take a break. Like, I've literally been refused breaks entirely. Well, excluding lunch breaks, but I'll get to that in a second. So, I was not allowed to ever take, there would be days where I would only be allowed to take a break that was literally the last 15 minutes of work. And I would take it because I would get paid for those 15 minutes and I could sit down. It was hell. So I would be getting home, and I rode my bike, so I'd have to ride my bike home. My legs are sore, my arms are tired, and my entire body aches from working all day without getting to sit down once. And well, technically I would get to sit down at lunch, and that's because there was a legal reason. Technically they're supposed to give me the breaks, but they're not recorded. So if I go on lunch, it's recorded. So if I were to say they're refusing me breaks, oh yeah, what's your proof? Well, look at this. I'm not getting my lunch breaks like I'm supposed to. Oh, you're right. So they have to allow me to get the lunch breaks, and they know that because they can get into a lot of legal trouble if they overwork their employees. So there's that. So I would get my lunch breaks, but that's about it. What was I gonna say? Hold on a second. I'm not as good with Windows Movie Maker, so this is gonna be an issue. I'm going to re-record this story once I have Camtasia, but I wanted to get something out for Halloween. Oh yeah, now I remember. The workload. So technically, based on safety restrictions, you are only allowed to take a maximum of 10 carts, 20 if you use something called the mule, which is a machine. However, that's not how it actually goes. So they legally have to tell you 10 carts. This prevents you from getting injured on the job. But if you were to do your job and take the legal precautions and take 10 carts, they'll come out and yell at you, you're not working fast enough, and if you don't work faster, you could be fired. There's nothing you can do to make it go by faster if it's a busy time of the day and they don't have enough help. So where I worked, there was I called it the 3-person rule, but the managers never followed it. So the way the rule works is 3 people need to be working at the same time. 2 at the main section, 1 at the pharmacy section. So the pharmacy would always be kept up by 1 person, and the main side with the groceries will be kept up by 2 people. And it worked. It worked perfectly, but they never did that. And so that's how. So we would often have to take on the job of 2 or 3 people at the same time. So a person would have to push in 20 carts on their own. You know, it's not like it was optional, or no, we had to, otherwise we wouldn't meet the demand. You know, and people would always see this like, oh, simple job. Look at him. He's carrying so many carts. We're not carrying that many because we want to. We're actually breaking a law by doing it. Or at least I think so. I didn't really research the law on cart pushing. But we're ignoring safety procedures. And management would see us do this. The asset protection would see us do this. They never bat an eye. They never said, they would never tell us, like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that, you need to slow down or something. No, they just let us do it because it got work done. And a few times this actually happened. I got so injured from the excessive amount of work in several days in a row that one day one of my coworkers got so worried about me because I kept collapsing to the ground. My legs stopped working, but I kept standing up, continuing to move. I was someone who worked so hard. Even when I couldn't work, I worked. Until a manager told me I can slow down, I wouldn't slow down. So coworker goes inside, gets the manager, and says he's really injured. He might need to stop and things like that. So management came out and saw that I was actually doing exactly what I was saying. I was falling, I was tripping, I was not moving basically. And I was pretty much falling in the middle of the park, in the middle of the road. So they didn't want me to die on the job because then it could come back on them. So they actually did tell me I could stop and slow down for a little bit while I regain my strength. Okay, decent enough. But I would still have to work, and so it was kind of a bad day. But for the most part, I managed to get through it. I never died, obviously. Or did I? Halloween. But the whole ordeal got really bad. And this was the day I quit. I'm going to get to why I quit. So, it was October, actually, funny enough. It was late October last year. And I was working 5 days in a row, just 5 days straight. And what ended up happening was on the 5th day, my body had so much done to it. I was hurt so much. And keep in mind, every day I had to work 4 hours, both sides, alone, getting screamed at by management that I'm not working fast enough to keep up the carts. And I'm alone. So I have to continuously push in 25 carts each time I went in. And on the last day, I evened 25 carts. As soon as I went out, got more and brought them in, they'd all be gone. So I could not keep up with the workload. So eventually, halfway through the 5th day, I black out. And it wasn't something serious, like I went to the hospital because they found me blacked out. I blacked out, fell over, and I was out for like 3 seconds. 1 to 3 seconds, I'm not sure. And some people ran over to see if I was okay, because I was wobbling, and then I fell into a corral. I just straight blacked out, fell over, and when I woke up, these 2 people were around me, and because I'm nothing special, literally they barely care. They saw me fall over, they went over to check to see if it was actually something that would make them look like a hero if they saved me, like if they called an ambulance or something. But as soon as I got up, they basically looked like, I don't care about you. You don't get me anything. You know, I'm a cart pusher, so I'm not rich. I'm not, or what else would I be? I'm not going to the hospital, so I wouldn't be praised as savior of this kid who could have died in the parking lot. No, I wasn't anything special. So they just basically, I said, I think I'm okay. And they're like, okay. And then they walk away. Like, they don't show any concern. Yeah. And because I blacked out and because I was so worried about my health at that point, yeah, because this is continuous. This is continuous abuse, and I was trying to get moved to another location in the store, like maintenance or something, because that would be better for my health. Because I couldn't take the workload. My body was literally giving up on me because of it. But even though every day I would go in and I would remind my manager and the manager of the maintenance crew. I would remind her, hey, is there any way I could get into maintenance? She's like, oh, I haven't checked yet. I told her like 10 days before this all happened. And I said, hey, and almost every day, excluding the days I had off, because I wouldn't go to Walmart on my days off. She would say, I haven't looked, I haven't checked. I'm so busy. She's doing absolutely nothing. She's sitting there twiddling her thumbs and every now and then taking care of a problem. So she really didn't care if I went anywhere or not. So that very day that I blacked out, I quit because my health was going to go bad. I was going to have an actual physical ailment that would not only keep me from working at Walmart, but it would probably make it so that almost no one would hire me ever again. Because, like, say, I am in a wheelchair because my legs literally had the muscles ripped apart inside them. Yeah. Oh well, I guess it's time for you to deal with it. Let's find you another position so we can treat you like shit still. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened if I stayed as a cart pusher. And because I was paid $9 an hour, $9 an hour sounds great, but it's only 25 cents over the actual minimum wage. So I was barely paid over minimum wage. Still better than minimum wage, but still. To risk my health over that, if I was paid $15 an hour, I probably would have dealt with it for longer. Because if something went wrong, I at least had something to my name. But no, I had $0. I was going to college, getting nothing. So I quit. And long story short, I didn't get a job till I moved back up to my home state of Pennsylvania, and now I'm working again. In between a few jobs, but I'm working. And I'm actually kind of happy with what I'm going to be getting now. I'm going to become a cashier at Wise, which is a store I've known since I was a little kid. I'm kind of okay with it. And they seem like really nice people. So, yeah. So that was my horror story of when I worked at Walmart. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say what Walmart number it was, but if someone in the comments were to ask, I'll tell you what Walmart it was. Or at least the store number. You can actually look it up by store number. But all I can say is the number. Those people. And what's even more is, little bonus, after I quit my job, what the manager started doing was they started lying to the store employees, saying, I was lazy, uncooperative, always late to the job. Because of that actual thing that they said, and it was said to a family friend, because someone asked, "What happened to Isaac? I haven't seen him in so long." They're like, "Oh, he quit. He was lazy, uncooperative. We didn't like him." Yeah, and because of that, I don't trust Walmart on an application. I'll say I have experience somewhere, but I don't want you calling Walmart because they are lying. They're lying assholes. They don't show any care for the employees, and they lied to my family's direct friends, saying saying I was a horrible employee that never did anything, even though I worked harder than 90% of the other cart pushers. Well, 90% is kind of a weird statistic considering there was only 5 of us. But I worked harder than any of the other cart pushers. I was always on time or early. And I was late maybe once or twice in 3 months. They have nothing on me. And I find it sickening that they decided to lie to a good family friend just to make me look bad and make it look like it was a good idea that I quit, and so they wouldn't have to deal with me. You know, it made them look better. It made me look like an asshole. To this day, I hate going to Walmart because it just sickens me to know that these people who run the Walmarts are able to not only get away with abusing their employees, but people don't care that they're abusing the employees. They save money because Walmart harasses the producers and gets them for cheaper, so they can sell it for cheaper. So Walmart can save you money. Okay, let's ignore all the legal troubles and all the abuse that Walmart does. And no, I didn't have any real proof to sue Walmart over this ordeal. Because, again, my lunches were recorded, the breaks they were refusing me were unrecorded, so they could say, yeah, he was getting his breaks. And I didn't have a doctor, and I didn't go to the doctors for my problems because, well, what do you say to a doctor? I've been working really hard and my legs are sore. Oh, it's just muscle cramps. It's nothing to worry about. Now, it's so ridiculous. I couldn't sue them to get compensation for the emotional and physical damage they did to my body. Now, obviously, it wasn't permanent physical damage, but it was permanent emotional damage, and I don't have any evidence to prove it. And if I were to, come out with this now, it's been a year. So what are they gonna say? Oh, well, you should have dealt with it sooner. You're just coming out with it to make money off of Walmart when you could have done it a while back. No, I couldn't have. This is literally the closest thing I have to evidence, is this story. I don't have anything else. There was no record. There was no doctor's appointment. Nothing that would help me make a case against Walmart. It is my word against theirs, and their word is backed up by lawyers and files. Well, guess who would be losing a case? That could probably be a case lawsuit or just $1 million lawsuit over the fact that they have forever ingrained in my head these people are horrible and they need to be shut down immediately. But what am I? I'm just a kid who was abused by Walmart, who nearly died several times doing a job for Walmart. They're horrible people, but you're never going to catch them, because the closest thing you can get to catching them, they're just going to write you off as crazy and still get away with it. It's ridiculous. There's Go Run Pip signing off for Halloween. Time to get some candy.